What's going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over Survivor Series WarGames. The whole entire show from top to bottom, what I think about it, what I didn't like about it, what I liked about it, all that good jazz, and so much more. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below, follow the social medias, Twitter, at Misfit Wrestle TV, on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Pod, on Facebook, Misfit Wrestling Podcast, and right here on YouTube at Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Survivor Series was a very good show. It was like, obviously, of course, was, overshadowed by, well, not overshadowed is not a strong word, overtaken basically by both War Games matches. I enjoyed both War Games matches. My quick thoughts of this whole show. I enjoyed both War Games matches. I enjoyed the United States title match as a match. Didn't really care for the finish. Because I'm still scratching my head about it. AJ Styles Finn Balor was a fun match, and Shotzi and Ronda Rousey happened. So that's basically what I have to talk about. My quick thoughts. Survivor Series tonight was from Boston, and no Sasha Banks. You fucking Sasha stands. I tried to tell you guys for like 6 weeks that Sasha Banks is not going to be a part of this show. It didn't make sense for her to be a part of the show. Why would she be a part of the show? Why would she be a part of the War Games match? Why would she appear on any part of this show? So I try to explain this to people. People don't listen. They want to find for like an entire week or leading up to this show. I heard things of, oh, Sasha's gonna be the 5th member. Alexa Bliss ain't gonna make it to the War Games match. She's gonna be taken out. Sasha Banks is gonna replace her. All the stupid ass shit that I've heard. It didn't happen. Thank God. Because if I'm being completely honest, Chance did not actually take over the show. Like, there was like not that many Sasha Banks chants. Like, there was one, maybe a couple, but they were not taking over the show. They didn't hijack the show. They didn't, because I was also told that Sasha Banks chants were gonna turn on it if it wasn't Sasha Banks. They didn't. And Boston seemed to get over it quickly that Sasha Banks wasn't going to be on the show. I was over it months ago with Sasha Banks, so I don't care if she comes back or not. If she comes back, cool. If she doesn't, whatever. Am I going to cry about it? No, I'm not. We started off with the women's War Games match. It was Bayley, IYO SKY, Dakota Kai, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Of course, Dakota Kai started off the match for her team. Of course, if you remember the rules every first period 5 minutes, while the one member of each team is starting the match. After that 5-minute period, the winning team advantage, the team with the winning advantage sends the second person. After 3 minutes, another teams would alternate with the members that are coming into the ring. Match doesn't officially begin until all competitors in the ring. Pitfall submission, all that stuff. You know the rules of War Games. So it's Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai starting off for their respective teams. Um, so this match starts. Dakota Kai and Bianca start off. Bianca is taking control with the drop kick, and despite Dakota trying to use the ponytail, only leads to her being sent into the cage. Dakota Kai manages to sidestep Bianca through she sidesteps Bianca, leaving her squashed into the corner as damaging as Dakota Kai runs in with a boot to the face. Despite that, Bianca turns things around with suplex while Dakota Kai catches Bianca with a scorpion kick. I love her scorpion kick; it's great. Um, She is made to play. Dakota's then paid for it for getting launched into the cage. 5 minutes drop. Out comes IYO SKY. I should point out this is Dakota Kai and IYO SKY's 4th ever WarGames match. They have competed in every WarGames match there. IYO SKY, at one point there was a little botch here, but she's rarely known for botching. I kind of blame Dakota on this one because she was supposed to do the meteor drop kick, knees to the knees into the corner. She lost her balance not once or twice, but twice actually, and it looked rough. But she was managed. The professional that she is was able to recover very quickly. IYO obviously does one of her beautiful drop kicks. At one point, she did a springboard drop kick from one ring to the other, which is fucking incredible. I love it when she does that. Dakota and IYO begin beating down Bianca Belair, making the most of the advantage that damage control has. Belair then starts showing off her strength with a double suplex, but IYO just responds with walking the rope. Like I said, the two walking the ropes with the drop kick, beautiful. Out comes Asuka, who comes in next. She comes in with a hot German suplex to Dakota Kai. IYO and Asuka start facing off. The crowd erupts because they want to see this one-on-one match. I don't need to talk about how much offense that happened between these two. I just need the match, the one-on-one match. I need it on pay-per-view. Give them 20 minutes, please, Triple H. That's all I ask. And if you're gonna do this on pay-per-view, don't do it in fucking Lafayette or some shit like that. Go to like Chicago or Philadelphia or something, or something where fans I know are gonna lose their shit for it. No, do it in Canada or something. That's a good point. If you don't want to do that match at WrestleMania, just do it at Elimination Chamber. There's that. I guarantee you, these two women are going to be in Elimination Chamber. Bianca Belair comes in, presses Dakota into the cage. Asuka hits a missile drop kick inside the other ring, which, whew, I love when she does that. Asuka is just a great professional wrestler. All four of these ladies, believe it or not, are actually really good at wrestling. Nikki Cross enters the ring next, or enters the cage next. She starts with just grabbing weapons left and right. I loved it. She grabbed several candlesticks, trash can lids, and she's immediately. I think she fits right in with WarGames. She starts taking down her opponents, planting them in the ring. She beats them down with her jacket, which I noticed. I don't know if anyone else noticed. At the back of her jacket has the Sanity, her Sanity logo from her days in Sanity. The cross type of emblem that she had on her jacket. Cool cross. Looks like cross face. To Yangon Bianca. Adding the kendo stick for further damage. So kind of like when Brian would have the label lock on, and he would take the kendo stick and apply more pressure. After that, Alexa Bliss comes in for the baby faces. Bliss almost got tripped coming to the ring by the stupid ass cameraman. Bliss drop kicks Dakota Kai while she's had a garbage can. Then she unloads a series of strikes on her former partner Nikki Cross. The baby faces are starting to take control as IYO gets bulldogged into the trash can lid, which looked kind of rough. She landed on her face. I don't know if it got into her eye or not. I hope that's not the case because that looks rough. Dakota Kai, I think, gets drop kicked onto the trash can lid as well. Cross tries to use the kendo stick, but Belair snaps it as the Scottish wrestler comes to the top of the cage, and he's standing up there like a fucking a crazy ass child. And she delivers the first high spot move from the top of the cage with a dive, a high cross body from the top of the cage, taking out everyone in the match. Bayley, team captain Bayley, enters the WarGames battleground next. Bayley opts to bring in a few more weapons, choosing ladders and tables. Ladders will be first time ladders was introduced in WarGames. We had tables. They continue to brawl with each other. When she does come in, Bianca gets sent into the turnbuckle by Bayley. Damage control then pushes the table into Belair, pinning her in the middle of the section of the so like she's wedged between the cage wall and a table. While they start picking up and beating up Asuka and Bliss, Mia Yim then enters the match. Obviously, commentary is still calling her Mia Yim, or they're using Mi Chin as the nickname. Finally, it's finally clear that they're doing that. Mia Yim charges in with the trash can. Here's where, listen, I love Mia Yim, and I'm glad that she was able to be in this match. But like, while your other team is getting their ass whipped, you are just too busy bringing in weapons and shit. Just go in there and fucking help your team out. Anyway, she starts charging him with some trash cans. She hits the defeat the IYO SKY. Oh, with a trash can lid in the hand. Look cool. Dakota Kai gets sent face first into the trash can, the same trash can lid that is. Nikki Cross decides to leap onto her back before, but she struggles to get. She shrugged off as Mia Yim does the suicide dive, which was very impressive in a 2-ring setting. Through the middle ring, through one ring to another, she hit the suicide dive, which looked very impressive. And she took out Bayley. All 8 women then are up on the top turnbuckle. One of them, one after the other, suplexes start taking place and everyone is down. Rhea Ripley enters the match as the last person for Bayley's team. Rhea enters the match, immediately starts taking down several of her opponents, showcasing her brute strength. Mia Yim starts fighting back, throwing the trash can in front of Rhea as she nails the cannonball into the corner. However, then Rhea then tries to dive through the rings, gets caught. No, Mia tries to dive through the rings, gets caught and hit by Rhea with the lid repeatedly until Dakota stomps her down in the middle of the turnbuckle. Becky Lynch finally enters the match, and then WarGames starts officially. Becky, crowd pops for Becky Lynch. Becky's just going, just unloads on everyone, sidestepping across with who nails IYO with the trash can, which IYO sold like somebody shot her. IYO then got covered with the trash can lid, or the trash can at least, not the lid, but which, on top of her. Becky Lynch then delivers the drop kick from the second rope. Becky then demands to fight Bayley. They go at it. While with Lynch eventually dominating, she turns around into Rhea Ripley, who butts heads with her. Excuse me. Plants her riptide try to get the win. Asuka saves the match. Asuka hits the blue mist this time, so this will be the first time Asuka's used the blue mist on Rhea Ripley. Becky hits the DDT, but Bayley was able to stop whatever was going to happen next as she charges in and attacks both Asuka and Becky. Becky is in the Tree of Woe, stomps on her. Bayley does, that is. She follows it up with the rose plant on the steel that's in between the rings, connecting the rings together. Which I'm glad that's new. That's there because it's more safer, and it just Again, Asuka saves the match again because Asuka cares about her tag partners, only to get mauled Io then climbs the cage. Then starts climbing the cage. Everyone starts following her. Um, and everyone's out. Io finally gets up to the top of the cage. At some point, Mia Yim and Belair are battling each other out. Io comes off the cage with her patented moonsault, which is something it's kind of a tradition when she's in these War Games matches. And I feel like she's going to do it in the Elimination Chamber if she's in there, which is going to be, I think she could pull it off. Um, at least in this version of the Elimination Chamber. I don't think she would have been able to do it in the old Elimination Chamber. Nikki Cross then brings out handcuffs rather. She cuffs Alexa Bliss, who then Bliss cuffs Cross to herself, drops her with an electric chair on or through a trash can rather. Though I think Alexa got more of the trash can than Nikki did. But stuff like that's going to happen in this match. Asuka connects with the knees to the face on Rhea. Then Asuka gets launched into the steel while Mia Yim begins brawling with Rhea Ripley. She locks in a sleeper hold, but Rhea breaks it, sprinting and diving through a ladder in the corner that was set up earlier on in the match. Lynch and Belair face off with damage control, which is a nod to what happened at SummerSlam. Lynch drops Dakota Kai with a manhandle slam, while IYO SKY gets hit with the KOD. Io and Dakota are set up on the table. Becky's climbing the top of the cage. Bayley gets hit with the DDKOD into the cage. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch drops the big leg drop off the top of the cage through a table to pin Dakota Kai for the win. Becky Lynch and her team win for the baby faces. Fun War Games match for the first one for the women on the main roster. Everyone I thought did very well. Maybe one or two hiccups here. Highlights of the match: Nikki Cross doing the high cross body, Mi Gim doing a suicide dive and from one ring to another. Io's highlight is a highlight reel at this point, and Becky Lynch, who just came back from the shoulder injury, decided to do a leg drop from the top of the cage. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. What's next for all five of these ladies? Who knows? I still think Becky Lynch is on the path to facing Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And they're probably going to do Bianca and Rhea at some point. I'm still holding out hope for WrestleMania. But yeah, that was the women's War Games match. Like I said, fun little match. Nothing too big happened. No Sasha. Thank God, they didn't need it. This match, any show was fine without Sasha. So there's that. So after the women's War Games match, Jey Uso is shown backstage talking to Roman Reigns, making it clear that he doesn't think Sami Zayn can be trusted after seeing him talk to Kevin Owens on SmackDown last night. Reigns says Uso needs to be the right hand man tonight, and he will worry about everything else. He will look into Zayn's eyes to know if he's telling the truth, and we find that out a little bit later on. About Sami and the Usos and the Bloodline. Next up, we got AJ Styles defeating Finn Balor in a very fun one-on-one match. This is AJ Styles' first pay-per-view win since Crown Jewel 2019, where he defeated Humberto Carrillo. AJ starts off the match with some aggressive kicks to the legs of Finn Balor before connecting with a backbreaker. Balor attempts to fight back, but is met with a series of headbutts. Balor quickly rolls up his opponent, then drops several knees to the sternum of Styles. He tries to respond with a sunset flip, but Balor rolls through and connects with a baseball drop kick instead. Styles manages to get a few quick punches in, then does a sliding forearm to one of Balor's knees, which gains him a near fall. Balor then sidesteps Styles and begins attacking him while Styles is in the middle ropes. But Balor smartly reverses, Styles smartly reverses by yanking Balor's leg into the rope. So this whole story, they're working on Finn Balor's leg, or Styles's, that is. Priest then tries to distract the official, which allows Dominic to pull AJ off the ring apron. Dominic and Priest start battling Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They are gone out after that. Back in the ring, Balor drops Styles with a sling blade, looks to hit the shotgun drop kick, but Styles stops him in his tracks with an enziguri, then a suplex into the corner, but Balor kicks out. Styles tries for a calf crusher, but Balor has scouted it. Rolls through, hits the stomp to the chest. Balor hits several kicks to the face, but Styles responds with a fury of his own kicks for Balor to only drop him on the mat for a near fall. Balor looks for a Styles clash, but Styles gets out of it. It hits a Pele kick. Then Balor follows up with his own Pele kick. Two are down. Styles gets back up. Styles ends up getting caught by Balor. Gets his knees to the gut for his trouble. Styles then moonsaults over Balor from the second rope. Catches him with a DDT. On the way down, Balor avoids a 450, hits the drop kick, which leaves Styles in the drop zone. Avoids the coup de grace. Styles avoids the coup de grace. Then Styles rocks in the calf crusher, which is on for a good minute and a half. Again, working on that knee. Balor slams AJ's head into the mat. And it's enough to relinquish the hold. The two throw punches and chops, but AJ Styles eventually hits the phenomenal forearm for the win. AJ Styles with the win here. I made a joke on Twitter that this show started with WCW NWA, and then was followed up by New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I thought myself was kind of funny. But yeah, this was a fun match. Not as I think their TLC match from 2017 was a little bit better. Again, outside the opening match and the women's championship match, my record here tonight was not very good. I did have Finn Balor winning here, but I get it. He just now needs a pay-per-view victory, but hopefully that's not the end of the Finn Balor push. I still think Finn Balor is in for a hell of a 2023 on Monday Night Raw. So that should be good. Next up, Ronda Rousey defeated Shotzi Blackheart to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship in one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life. Ronda Rousey is not. How do I say this without hurting Ronda haters' feelings? I don't think Ronda is that bad of a wrestler. She's had very good matches in the past. It's not my fault that WWE keeps putting her in the ring with terrible wrestlers. I love Shotzi Blackheart, but she's not the best worker in the world. I mean, Shotzi has to be carried by a lot. Two of the best Shotzi matches that have ever existed is a match that she had with IYO SKY in NXT, and a match she had on Raw, and a match she had on SmackDown with Charlotte Flair. Other than that, Shotzi isn't a very, and here's the reason those two matches were very, very good. She was in the ring with two people who can actually go. Shotzi is not a very good I love Shotzi as a person, but Shotzi as a wrestler, I love Shotzi as a character and love Shotzi as a person. As a professional wrestler, she is easily one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Ronda can have a good match. We've seen Ronda have good matches. She's had great matches with Charlotte. Not at WrestleMania, but she had a great match with Charlotte at Backlash earlier this year. The Survivor Series 2019 match that was originally supposed to be her and Becky. There was another match, the WrestleMania debut match with Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. It was very good. And believe it or not, the match she had with Nia Jax was not bad at all. Mostly, but there's not really much to talk about here. There was one spot that kind of almost hurt a lot of people. Shotzi tried to do a DDT on the ring apron, and Ronda held on to the top rope, didn't let go in time. Shayna was getting involved here a few times. It was whatever. Ronda locks in the Piper's Pit and then hits the Piper's Pit and then does the arm bar. Shotzi taps out. Ronda retains. I don't know where to go from Ronda here. I think I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Ronda at the Royal Rumble. I'd still do. I personally would love to see Shayna be the one to dethrone Ronda. Well, no, screw that. I want to see Ronda and Shayna at the Royal Rumble. That's what I want. But I don't know. Next up, we had a backstage segment with Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns. Roman asks Sami if he was talking to Kevin Owens. Sami admits that he was talking. They did talk. Roman asks why he lied to Jay about it. He says it was because Jay had a huge match later that night and he didn't want trouble. And he's already has trouble trusting Sami. Zayn admits that when Owens Zayn admits what Owens said to him. Reigns wants to know if Zayn is with them. He assures Roman that he is. He says that he says it means the world to him that Roman took him in. He says he pushes and he pushes that he is a member of the Bloodline and they hug. So planting seeds for whatever was going to happen in the main event. I liked it. Next up, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, United States Championship. Seth Rollins is mega over again. Like, dude's over. The match was fine. I enjoyed the match for what it was. I want to talk about the ending here. So the ending came. So Rollins was hitting looking ready to hit the curb stop. He bounces off of Theory and hits a elevated curb stomp onto Lashley. Then at one point we going into the Falcon's Arrow with Rollins and Theory. Rollins gets hit with a spear. Theory lands on top of Rollins for the 3 count, and Austin Theory is the new United States champion, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So originally, I tweeted out before the match was over. I said, "Only take this title off of Seth Rollins if you have something big for him going into WrestleMania. Other than that, do not take the title off of him." And then after he took the title off him, I'm like, if he doesn't have anything going into WrestleMania, something's wrong here. To me, Seth Rollins should be going into WrestleMania as the WWE champion. I don't know how he gets to that moment, but that's what should happen. Another thing I had a problem with it was if we were just gonna give Austin Theory the title, why didn't you do it 3 weeks ago when he had the fucking briefcase? Now, that whole thing that they did with the briefcase means nothing. You just gave him the title anyway. I don't know. I just didn't really care for the finish. I don't think like again, like I said, if Rollins has something going on for WrestleMania that's bigger than the United States title, um, like for example, going to WrestleMania as the champion and Cody challenging him for the title. If that's not what they're doing for it, Rollins at WrestleMania, why the fuck did you take the title off of him? One of them, I will reserve judgment on this finish as a whole until I find out what's going to happen with Rollins come Monday. If by Monday we do another championship match between Rollins and Theory, and Rollins just ends up winning the title back, then I'm gonna say fail, major L on Triple H's part. If we do not go back to a title match with Rollins and Theory, and we still don't do so, and it still doesn't, it's not still not Rollins winning the title going to WrestleMania as the champion, it would be a major L. But if what I said earlier is Rollins is going into WrestleMania as the WWE champion, then I will be okay with the finish. But for now, I'm holding my judgment for the finish of the match. But yeah, Austin Theory is your new United States champion. It's whatever. I'll hold my judgment when we get to the where everything goes from here. Next up, we got Jey Uso asking about Sami Zayn's and see if he's lied to Roman earlier. Tribal Chief says Roman made it clear that he saw what he needed to see and to go out to the ring. Next up, we had the Bloodline defeating the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and WarGames. Match starts with Pete Dunne and Jey Uso. This would be Pete Dunne's fourth WarGames match. He was in the 2018 WarGames match, 2020 and 2021. This would be his fourth one. His first WarGames match under the name Butch, but this is his fourth WarGames match overall. Jey Uso, first WarGames ever. Pretty much everyone on the Bloodline has never been competed in WarGames. Like, there's only two people in this match that's been in WarGames. Like I said, Pete Dunne and Kevin Owens. Dunne starts getting the best of Jey Uso, working his joint manipulation stuff that he's known for. Pete Dunne starts attacking and bending the fingers on the side of the steel before kicking them in. However, Jey Uso starts turning things around, working on the left arm of Pete Dunne. Rich Holland starts entering in after the first 5 minutes is over with. For that period, Rich Holland charges in with several shoulder tackles. Then he starts he checks on Pete Dunne. The two then go high and low with a double team on Jey Uso as they start isolating Uso there. Jimmy starts entering the match next. Well, once they enter the match next, after the first 3 minute period is over, he sends Sami Zayn. I thought was brilliant bit of storytelling. Sends Sami in there just to see if those two would get along. Didn't happen though, did it? So Sami gets in the ring, immediately jumps Rich Holland from behind, helps out Jey as he runs in on Pete Dunne while holding both the ropes in the midsection, or the middle section rather. Rich Holland turns things around with some uppercuts, but this time Jey comes to help him. They start showcasing tension between themselves. Their argument allows Butch, or Pete Dunne rather, I'm not going to call him Butch, screw that. Their argument allows Pete Dunne to recover and take them both out with a moonsault. Pete Dunne is so great at what he does. Love his moonsault too. Sami Zayn then saves Jey Uso once again as Rich Holland charges in, and then that sees him collide with the steel. Out comes Drew McIntyre next. McIntyre just starts fucking tossing Uso and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn around like rag dolls. Bloodline members start fighting, at least try to attempt fighting McIntyre back, but lifts himself out of a trio woe, tosses Jey Uso halfway across the ring. Zayn then hits him with a gets hit with a future shock DDT. Then comes Jimmy Uso. He brings in several tables. This is the first part of the match where the weapons start getting into the ring. But Zayn and Jay starts arguing about setting up the table. They begin fighting among themselves. Jimmy, being the being the cooler of both heads, starts, splits them up, saying, "Hey, we got to focus here." Uh, the trio then start to attack their opponents as the Usos focus on McIntyre, throwing him into the cage. In comes Kevin Owens, which I was very surprised that Kevin Owens came in next. KO comes down, throws in some chairs, unloads on the Usos, dropping Jimmy with face first onto one of them. He then hits a few cannonballs onto Jay, follow those up with a senton. He and Sami stare at each other for a brief second, but different wrestlers start attacking them at opposite sides. Owens then ends up putting Sami through a table. Solo Sikoa enters the ring. Solo starts fighting with the Brawling Brutes, launches Pete Dunne into the cage as Rich Holland eats a Samoan drop. Owens then meets him between the rings. They start throwing hands, with Solo being sent into the steel, which just angers Solo Sikoa. He eats several super kicks, then KO stands on his feet. But Solo, so while Owens is hitting Solo with the super kicks, he's just no selling it. Solo reverses a I'm assuming a pile bomb attempt. Solo reverses that. Kevin Owens gets backdropped into the steel. Solo continues to dominate McIntyre. He meets him in the middle of the ring with a high flying headbutt because again, Solo cost Drew McIntyre the Universal title back at Clash at the Castle. They start meeting with some flying headbutts. With everyone then being down, Sheamus enters the ring next, so he's the final competitor for his team to come out, because the Brawling Brutes had the winning team's advantage. Going into WarGames, Zayn immediately tries to keep the door shut to block, but Sheamus just rips it open, just slams the door into the face of Sami Zayn. He begins attacking everyone in sight. He drives Zayn into the cage. He gets Holland and Dunne as they pin the Usos and Zayn against the cage and just start attacking them while McIntyre deals with Solo Sikoa. Sheamus shows his power by climbing to the top turnbuckles with Solo Sikoa on his back, hitting him with the white noise. Finally, Roman Reigns enters the ring. WarGames for that part. That WarGames is starting to officially begin for the men's match. Roman steps into the ring, and the two teams stand up for a great shot to face off one another. They start just throwing haymakers around each other. Sheamus, it's a Superman punch for good measure, by Roman Reigns, who starts taking complete control. Sheamus denies the spear, and then the babyfaces have opponents they all hit the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. Beautiful stuff. After that was over, McIntyre hits one more for good measure on Roman. Sheamus hits the bro kick, who was getting ready to hit the bro kick onto Roman. Solo moved Roman out of the way. Solo gets hit with the bro kick. He turns around into a spear by Roman Reigns, forcing Pete Dunne to break up the pinfall at the last second. Sami then attacks Pete Dunne as Jey Uso goes for a super kick. Dunne ducks it out, and he nails Sami instead with the super kick. Sami is Jimmy starts questioning Jay. Jay doesn't care. Like he's not bothered by it at all. Jimmy goes to check up on Sami, see if he's all right. The Usos then hit a top rope 1D. Yet Ridge Holland breaks the pin up there. However, he gets speared through a table that was set up earlier on by Jimmy and Sami. Solo then saves Roman from McIntyre as he hits a spinning solo to put the Scotsman through a table that was propped up somewhere else. But then he is hit then with a stunner by Kevin Owens. Reigns breaks up that pinfall. Then the two start slugging it out. Eventually, Reigns hits a Superman punch. However, his spear attempt was met with a super kick, then a pop-up powerbomb, then a stunner. But as he goes for the pin to get the win, Sami stops the referee from hitting the 3 count. Zayn and Owens stare each other down. Owens questions, "This is your family? This is your family now?" Jimmy comes in to hit a super kick attempt. Kevin Owens blocks it, and then boom! Sami hits a low blow on Kevin Owens, charges in for the haluva kick, lays Sami then lays out Kevin Owens as a sacrifice to Jey Uso, hits the Uso splash for the win. The Bloodline win WarGames for the men. Holy shit, what storytelling this was. I'm like, originally I was conflicted by this, but like in a good way. Like my mixed feelings for this is like a good mixed feelings. Like, so when Sami hit the low blow on Kevin Owens, he was like, he was not very, he looked like he was not very happy with what he did. Like he was in denial that he did it. And which is interesting enough because after the match, so they're hugging. Sami Zayn is officially, finally, embraced by all the Bloodline. Even Jey Uso starts hugging him as well, seemingly bearing the hatchet between the two. But while the camera is focusing on Jimmy, or not Jimmy, Jay, Roman, and Sami keeps looking over at Kevin Owens. Like keeps looking back and forth at Kevin Owens. And you have Jay and Roman looking at each other like they know what's about to happen soon. Man, what a story this has been so far with the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Usos, Bloodline stuff. I enjoyed the WarGames match. I thought it was a lot of fun. The show I thought was a lot of fun outside the women's championship match between Ronda and Shotzi. Shitzy, I could just start calling her that. I don't know. Becky looked fine. Coming back after a shoulder injury, she looked like she hasn't missed a step. Alexa Bliss, I thought, did fine in this match. Asuka did great in this match. Bianca was here and there with this match. Mia Yim, outside of that one spot she did, just throwing weapons into the ring and not caring about her partners, I thought she did fine. Rhea Ripley is a star. Just on another fucking level. IYO SKY, MVP always of WarGames. She's a WarGames veteran at this point. Nikki Cross is incredibly crazy. I love it. Sheamus is over. I think so it could be Sheamus at the Royal Rumble, but the way the show ended and how the last few minutes of that match played out, and probably going to be Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber, the Royal Rumble. Oddly enough, the 2017 Royal Rumble pay-per-view was also in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And funny enough, for the same championship, it was for the Universal title. That was the match where Jericho was suspended from the shark cage, and I believe it was a no-holds-barred match. I think it's either a last man standing or a no-holds-barred match. I'm not actually sure. That was when Braun Strowman got involved and cost Roman the Universal title. But I'm okay with it if it's Roman Reigns or Roman and Kevin Owens. But we've got to somehow get those titles off of uh Roman if we're gonna do if 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 they have big plans for Seth Rollins come WrestleMania. Other than that, the show is fine. I'm enjoying what they're going to do next with the Bloodline Sami Zayn storyline. I still think that time to turn on Sami is going to be in Montreal, in the hometown of uh, Sami Zayn, and it's mostly for Sami Zayn. I don't know how they do it, but I'm excited either way. But yeah, that's what I thought about Survivor Series War Games. I hope Survivor Series. I'm pretty sure War Games is going to be a staple for Survivor Series for the foreseeable future. I know Triple H said during the press conference that we'll see what it does. I mean, Triple H confirmed Survivor Series was a sellout, 15,000 plus. I forget the actual number, but he said it was around 15,000 plus. Very good number. These pay-per-views keep selling out ever since Triple H took over. Like the moment Triple H took over, Clash of the Castle sold out. Extreme Rules sold out. Also, that with the help of the Bray Wyatt ticket sales. I don't know about Crown Jewel because I don't really pay attention to the Crown Jewel's ticket sales. This show sold out. Royal Rumble is sold out. WrestleMania is a sellout. We don't know what the ticket sales are going to be like for the Montreal show. They're probably going to sell it because it's Montreal. So that's pretty cool. Also, we were able to find out that this was the most watched Survivor Series ever. Which is cool to see. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed Survivor Series War Games. I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw, the fallout of War Games. See what's going to happen here. What's next for Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair? It seems like Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are going to continue their story that was sort of put on the back burner when the whole Bray Wyatt stuff happened. There was no Bray Wyatt on the show. Nothing about Bray Wyatt was mentioned. There was a few things mentioned about Bray Wyatt when Alexa Bliss was there doing her stuff. The whole thing with the Fiend, but that was about it. Asuka, I don't know what they're going to do next with Asuka. I'm waiting for that eventual program with IYO and Asuka. Mia Yim is probably going to go. Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley are going to continue their feud because of the whole stuff with the OC and the Judgment Day. That's going to be a one-on-one match somewhere down the line on a Raw in a couple weeks in time. Brawling Boots, they don't know what's going to happen next with them, depending what next with Sheamus. See if they're going to put Sheamus in the world title picture, maybe. I still think Sheamus should challenge Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. The Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, that still looks to be the program they're heading into for WrestleMania. Solo Sikoa, you probably put him in Money in the Bank for WrestleMania if they're moving that to WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre probably going to continue what's left of his feud with Karrion Kross because they're 1-1 apiece. WWE likes to do the rematch of pieces stuff here. Dakota Kai, IYO SKY, they're the tag team champions, so they're gonna, I guess, do something next. I don't know what it is. Like I said, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. I don't know what's going to be next for Ronda Rousey. I'm still hoping Shayna Baszler turns on her so we can get Shayna and Ronda. But it's probably going to be Becky and I'm okay with Becky and Ronda for the rest of our WrestleMania. That's how it should be. Shotzi is not I don't really want to talk about Shotzi as a wrestler anymore. Again, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, they're going to continue their OC Judgment Day feud probably. What's next for Seth Rollins? We don't know. Bobby Lashley is going to continue his feud with Brock Lesnar heading into the Royal Rumble and possibly WrestleMania. Austin Theory. You could get Mustafa Ali in there. You know what? I'm okay with Austin Theory holding the United States title to WrestleMania and have Mustafa Ali be the one to take it from him. So But yeah, that was the Survivor Series WarGames. Like I said, I guys will see you back here for Monday Night Raw. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. The little social media links will be down in this description down below. Like I said, Misfit Wrestle TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Facebook Misfit Wrestling Podcast, right here on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. And all that good stuff. Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Until then, I'll see you back here for Monday Night Raw. We're out.